to secure your future, you need gold and silver, right? Hey, who's seen Battle Earth? Where they got a thing in there where a human gets tapped into an alien device, and the alien goes, "We were so kind and stupid in the end, but we become very intelligent because we had no one interfere with our world, and we become super peaceful with spoons as protection. And then along come these creatures that took us over just like that, as our words weren't powerful. And now they use things like me without devices to teach other creatures about stuff, and to definitely not be these spoon creatures, because look what happened." Have you seen that movie? Oh, mate. Hey, what's it called?
Galaxy Quest. You got a Battlefield early.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Battlefield Earth, where they rock up and he gets put on this dude, and he goes, and he helps his monkeys go dig some gold, and they have time to smelt it and shit. Right?
Because you sound like the dude from Galaxy.
Yeah, we got these aliens. Yeah, I know. We got these aliens here. Right? They're here in a way that you might as well say that's the devil. Right? And anyway, and you like to eat rat, okay? And you got time to smell shit. Hey, I smelt it and then I dealt it, right? Anyway, so let's get back to the most important things for these fucking rat eaters, right? Is gold. Why? Because the guy with the camera and all the blackmail, you know, the show goes, you got to get leverage, right? Is king. And in this show, what happens is they stick this dude in the end, this creature, into a cell in Fort Knox. They stick him in Fort Knox, looks like a cell. And Fort Knox becomes his cell. And goes, there's all your fucking gold that's so fucking precious that we kill everything for. But then we starve and die. Aren't you such a creature? Right? In a way, just like that. And the creature's like, no! Right? Because what's most important is connection. And to how to live so you can connect. And hopefully be fair for others, because the best connection is usually a fair connection. Is that true, Emma? Yeah. And try not to get stuck in the sins. And the sins is technology and toys, right? Things you don't need. Things that waste your time, right? And actually humans, it was a good thing that those things turn up in that show, because when you think about it, it actually did good for the humans. They end up living, and then they can have a new way about how to see things and make weapon devices and test them in outer space and other things like that. You can test weapons and do it in the righteous way. And just play around with that, like catching a fish and releasing it. And just have them there, just in case, right? And the whole world controls it. You need a fucking 150 ways to get to it. And so they're pretty safe until invasion comes, right? Because it could happen if there's other planets out there. You'd be stupid to think it's not if you know math and you play with technology. Why play with it? You think it's not true, right? And that's how it's all worked out through science and math and technology, right? Created. And so, why do we hear on Lefty's Losing It that gold and silver is the most valuable thing and you should all run off and make sure you have that, because if shit hits the fan, you can break your teeth on it. What do you reckon, Emma? Right? Or do you get to run to the devil's hole, because that's what it creates through history. So I can tell you why it says that, right? Because it's not true, but it is for it. Then you can run to it and go, oh, there's some of my gold. It's just like the rainbow fella, right? Who's that, Emma? They call him a little leprechaun. Where's my gold, right? And so he will say that the most precious thing is gold and silver. He doesn't want some silver. The gold's his thing. He wants to count his gold, and you stole some of it. And so when you bring some back, he will give you a seed that you should have had, right? And he'll feed you a little bit. Perhaps that was the goal that you should have had, right? But you were stupid. You got fooled, and you got that chunk of gold that you smacked your teeth on. And you managed to survive to get there, and now you're going to need all that gold now. All your shit, and be nothing, and be happy, and here's some food. Right? Fucking hell. What a place, eh? What do you reckon? So if you lived in such a place, would you rather just live there and be there? I guess you're going to have to be one of those leprechaun fellas. Be nice to leprechaun, right? Otherwise, you have a shit of a life. Otherwise, die and go to another place. So heaven, perhaps heaven might come to you. Have you ever asked for heaven before? I've asked for heaven. Heaven on earth. What happens if heaven was bigger than earth? Huh? What happens if heaven was the moon? What happens if the moon comes to earth? Hey, have you seen Independence Day? What happens when a big motherfucking ship turns up? They just have to turn up. They're like, what? Humans have got all this, huh? All we have to do is, they say big is better. In this case, it is. Is just pull up right above the surface, right? Don't even just quite hit it. Right? Have you seen Independence Day? What happens when a big ship comes in, Emma? Those buildings getting sucked up and
Oh yeah, the latest one.
fucking bar and chaos, mate. They didn't need a fucking weapon. How cool's that? Just turn up. That's what the moon could do. If the moon was a ship, say that was our saviour, God hangs in. It's white, right? It could solve humans' problems, no worries. It just comes in, creeps in, fuck around and doing that. Have you ever heard the mystery of the moon? It's a bit of a mystery. And what it can do too is you can just go, hey, dunk. In fact, scientists say that something big created the moon that hit us before. But who said that the moon really, it could have already had junk? If it's a tough thing and it goes through space, right? It goes, it'll get junk on it. It'll accumulate. Has its own little gravity. And when it went through space and it hits things, it puddleises it. Because you ever heard that moon dust is quite strange, right? It's like a protective material too. And it gets all this dust on it, and then it can come in and go bang, and do all these things, and it just loses its heat shield. Right? You know that theory? Right? And you get some of its crumble, and they go, it's moon dust. Right? What do you reckon? You reckon that's a possibility? You reckon that's a cool fucking movie? God's in the moon? He does that? Shit. You rocked up, man. Because have you ever heard the story, I think it's from the Chinese or something, over there in that area. And they talk about that the moon, this is real written down human history, fact stuff, huh? That the moon turned up thousands and thousands of years ago. There was no moon. Then there was a moon. Right? And when it turned up, it caused chaos and shit. It was adjusting itself. Oh, shit, I went a little close there. Shit. Hang on. I'm here. All hail the moon. Right? And then it parked itself. You reckon that story could be true? It is an old story. It's a hell of a story for way back then. It's maybe a few thousand years old. Old stories. But anyway, have a good one. See you later.